all things considered, I find myself needing to expand beyond Industriville itself. Sure, it's a nice town and all, but there are a handful of things that I can't really do in Industriville proper, and proper woodcutting is one of them, just because it takes up a lot of space. I've already built some walls around an area that I'll use for trees, and now I'm building a hut for the lumberjack that will be based here at my forestry outpost to live in. As you can see, I'm using spruce logs for the supports, spruce planks for the walls. And now I'm making my way up to the roof. Now, most of the residential roofs I've used so far have been flat roofs. This one is not a flat roof by any stretch of the imagination. It is going to be your simple, straightforward peaked roof. And yes, I did bring some extra oak wood so that I could build the roof properly. And we're very near the top. As you can see, I've opted to flatten it out just a little bit, just to avoid looking too peaked here. So this is the hut basically finished. And now I'm actually clearing out space on the other side for a local storehouse. Like I said, this is going to be my main tree cutting area going forward. And I would like to have a place somewhat locally to actually put the materials. As you can see, I've placed the chest down. I'm using a special kind of stone brick for the base of the walls on both the hut and the storehouse. I'm doing this for the sake of visual interest more than anything else. Now I've got the base sorted out, and I'm in the process of setting up the floor. And I've got the first side, but I find myself wanting to extend the floor underneath the support beams. And there's the floor of the storehouse finished. I've gone ahead and laid down the crafting table. I had placed it temporarily in front of the hut, but that's going to be its effectively permanent location. Alright, and as you can see, I've placed a little bit of scaffolding on the other side of the wall so that I can get up to the top of the storehouse when the time comes. And there I am placing the support beams for the walls and the roof. And I've gone double thick on the support beams in the vicinity of the chests. That is for purely aesthetic reasons. And incidentally, that was me clearing out a little bit of the wall to make way for the roof of the storehouse. And there's the sides of the roof, and I've opted to lay them one in the sidewalls just to create a little bit of visual depth. But you won't really be able to see it here just because of the angle at which I'm working. But there's the roof, and I'm going sloped very similar to what I did with the hut. And I'm flattening it a bit more than I did with the hut at the top. And finally, all I have to do is place down the walls. And there we go. One completed hut and storehouse. Oh, I also took care of making sure I had a standard wall at the front. And now it is time to actually lay out the tree planting area. And I've actually opted to place cobblestone surrounding where I expect to put the trees. And that's simply so that I can keep track of where the saplings should go. And there's a lot of cobblestone that will go into this. As you can see, I'm working on the borders first, so that I can make sure that I have enough space, get my layout done properly, and also get my lighting at least tested. there is side 3 and 4 completed. And now I'm working on the interior. Now I've opted for a straightforward checkerboard pattern, except as I get close to the center. Because I made each of these 3 blocks 20 by 20, I'm going to have even numbers to work with. So this is basically going to be 4 quadrants of checkerboards with some alternating cobblestone and dirt paths leading towards the middle. And as you can see, not only am I laying out the rest of the cobblestone, I'm also sorting out the rest of the lighting. And that is... oh, right, that is me sorting out the rubber saplings. Oh, yes, and there's me dropping through a hole because there's a natural cave below part of this. That's not that hard to dig into. Of course, more lighting and more cobblestone. And I'm opting for a single level per 20 by 20 plot. Oh, yeah, also dead sheep. The sheep was kind of in the way. So there's the dirt that will be used for planting. There is the creeper explosion that initially confused me. And there's me sorting out something outside this forestry outpost. I wish I could remember what. But anyway, more dirt, more edging. More cobblestone, more dirt. Actually, not so much more dirt, but you will see the odd misplaced dirt. That's a function of my shovel being really quick. Yes, it's pretty quick on grass, but it's so quick on dirt that I don't always have the shovel under complete control, believe it or not. And sometimes when I'm digging up raw dirt, I dig up a little bit more than I should. So there we go. The lighting basically sorted out. 3 of the 4 quadrants for the checkerboard pattern. And there we go with the stone. And now all I need is the saplings. And I've opted for spruce in this section. And I've opted to place the spruce in 4 quadrants, 16 saplings per quadrant. And now for the third and final segment of this build. And that is the lowest section near the main entrance. And in case you're wondering, this will be for oak trees. Yes, you do see me clearing out a bit of grass here and there. That's so I have a relatively smooth surface to work with, as opposed to having to deal with grass and flowers and whatnot being in the way. Of course, there's the edges again, but this time I'm opting to do something a little bit different. Rather than going pure edges all the way across, I'm actually placing half of it first. That also allows you to more clearly see what I'm doing to account for the fact that these blocks are 20 by 20. And now we're moving on to the second half of this third area. And I'm laying down the rest of the side for reference purposes. And now to actually complete the laying of the stone, that is to say the guide markers. It was, I will say, a little bit tedious to try to keep track all of those of all that stone. But I like the result, the end result of it. And there is all of the cobblestone in place, all of the torches, and now it's time to plant the saplings. And as I said, I planted oak saplings here, in the same pattern that I used for the spruce. Now that I have a slightly more secure way to get wood than to go into the forest to the north of Industriville, I feel it's time for an update on my agricultural situation. The wheat has grown to a 10-10-10, so I've replaced it with spice leaves. The cotton is up to 8-10-10, but that's still not a 10-10-10, so I'm going to continue crossbreeding the cotton. I've also got onions, bell peppers, rice, and beans being crossbred at the moment. And additionally, I had some problems with my irrigation system earlier. It turns out that trying to daisy chain all of these like this isn't actually such a great idea. Fortunately, I think I have a way around that little problem. I have prepared some additional water tanks so that I can store some more water from when it is raining. Because the problem with this configuration is that, with this new configuration, is that with the exception of the one at the top, none of these will fill up unless it's raining, which is not such a good thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and double the height on these. That will double the effective capacity of each of those tanks, which will allow those sprinklers to run longer after the rain stops. There may be better ways to do this, but none of them are actually available to me at this time. There we go. So that's that one sorted out. Now that that one's sorted out, let's get these last two. That was not what I wanted. There we go. And now I have enough water to keep these sprinklers running for quite a while, assuming the rain lasts long enough. It is time for another look at our to-do list, and I've made a couple of changes. Not only in light of the forestry outpost that I've built earlier this episode, but also taking into account the current situation here in Industriville. This is what I need to do to move forward with this challenge. First off, I need better food. Toast is okay, but I do need something better. And I'm in the process of working on it now with that crossbreeding there, but it's not exactly quick. There is that farm over there, and I do want to use, well, behind the silo and the other buildings, and I do want to use every single block of that farm for food crops, but that's still a little ways away yet. Windmill, just as soon as I figure out where I'm going to put it. The river and the water mill, I'm pretty sure I know where the river's going to go, and the water mill obviously is going to have to go on the river. But that's as far as that's figured out. More decorative lighting. Yes, the torches on the ground do the job. They do keep the mobs away. They don't look all that pretty, however. And I would kind of like to fix that. Make the lighting look a bit better. Make it look like I have actual consideration for how I'm lighting this up. as opposed to just sticking torches randomly on the ground. That's not to say that I won't have torches on the ground even when I finish with that, but there shouldn't be quite as many of them. And let's see, plant and breed 8+ food crops. I have 3 already. I've got another 5 crossbreeding there. So once those get up to 10, 10, 10, which won't be quick even if it rains a fair bit, enough to keep those sprinklers running quite a bit. I do need to build an inn so that tourists have a place to stay. And of course, this old project board will need to come down. I've built a new project board over there, but it won't really be usable until this old project board comes down. But with that, let's have a quick look at the actual farm area over here, given that this is going to be all of the farm I'm going to have, at least for the time being. This upper area here, I used to have a little bit of wheat over here. I've actually ripped that out. I might actually use this for crossbreeding going forward. See, this here we have potatoes on one side, carrots on the other, which is fine. This area is wheat, and this is the result of my crossbreeding. These 4 fields here are the old wheat fields that probably need to go. Although I could plausibly keep a couple of these. Yeah, in fact, I might have to keep this pair, though I'll probably want to upgrade these to 10, 10, 10s. And then there's these 4 fields here, which are empty. So that's basically the status of the farming and of the crossbreeding, and by extension of this current stage.